How's it going, folks? This is Avi Elias from the Children's Court coming to you live from Mission Control Studios, and we got to do a video on Tony and Chelsea Northrup. They are photographers. They have a photography YouTube page, and they just did a passive, underhanded hit job on Jason Lanier. It was cringy. It was weird. They're friendly with their guy, so it was definitely disgusting to have to watch. They don't need the views or anything, so I'm just wondering, like, why would you guys inject yourself in a biased fashion into this whole thing? And everybody in the comments is talking about Jason Lanier. So even inside the event that this was not attached to Jason Lanier, which it definitely was, it would appear to be. So I just wanted to go over some of the things that they were talking about and rebut or reply to some of the stuff, or just critique it, because they were definitely like newspeak type of coming from a newspeak type of point of view on everything. So I just wanted to speak on that. So they started off saying that 86% of girls are pressured to do nude photo shoots and also pressured to have sex. So what they did essentially was start this video off with two horrible examples of sexual harassment on a photo shoot, and then they blanketed the whole photography industry with that. They basically said 86% of these girls that go to photo shoots are asked to do nude scenes without prior knowledge to that. And then I forgot what the percentage of the girls that go to photo shoots is, what they're asked to have sex with the photographers, or they're pressured to have sex. There's no facts or evidence for this stuff. They're just, statistics from, stories from women. If these percentages or these statistics have any base at all, I'm just going off of what these people are saying on this YouTube video. I think it's absolutely disgusting that they painted this brush of sexual assault and rape, lewd behavior on the entire photography industry using these two examples. And this is what their premise for the conversation is. So let's go further. Tony says nude models should have experience. Now, if that made sense to you, please educate me in the comments. So, my point is, what my problem is with this is, you can't get experience being a nude model if you never model nude before. So at some point, somebody has to get naked and model. Now, let me just say, I do think if you want a model to shoot nude, of course, they should know about that before they come to the set. They should have the chance to decide whether or not they want to shoot nude. But in the event that you do come to a photo shoot and the photographer asks you to get naked and shoot a nude photo, you have the right to leave. I mean, it's a free country. That's not sexual assault. That's the business that they're doing. If they want to shoot a nude photo of you or something, maybe you get there and they're like, oh, this chick is, she looked good naked against this tree or something like that for a magazine that I've been tasked with taking pictures for or something. Shit might just be spur of the moment, excuse my language. But again, even in that situation, you have the right to just say no and leave. At the end of the day, I mean, you still need to be paid for the services that you gave that far. And if it comes up before anything starts, again, you have the right to leave, just like they have the right to ask you. That's not sexual assault. This is the newspeak that I'm talking about, making anything that you want to be sexual assault. So the point being, you have to model nude to get experience in modeling nude. It doesn't matter if you're new to modeling or a modeling veteran. You can be a veteran model who doesn't like to shoot nudes. What does having experience modeling in general have to do with modeling nude? That's a totally different experience than modeling. So I thought that was a pretty silly argument to make. Next is, we already went over girls are pressured to have sex. Obviously, that's awful and shouldn't be happening, but I disagree that that's normal inside photography. I think that there are probably some perverts that get some really hot girls on set and try to push up. I mean, it's human nature. It's not the best. It's not the best business practice, obviously, but to make it a crime for a man to make a pass at a woman that he might have a fancy for is different than, you know, rape or something like that. If you're not interested and the guy creeps you out, you go home and you don't work with him anymore at the at the very height of it. But yeah, no girl should be pressured to have sex on the job. That's crazy. So I want to be clear about that, even with the conversation that I was having about it. It says you shouldn't improperly touch models, and so when I talk about classic modeling, and I'm going to talk about something else that they say a little bit later that has to do with this, models have a distinct job. Being a model, I'm going to talk about this now because they brought up a girl, Chelsea brought up a girl who got naked in front of them, started stripping in front of them because I guess she was changing into her next outfit or first outfit or something, and they were like, wait a minute, we want you to have privacy. So they said insist on privacy, which is a relative thing. You don't necessarily need to insist that, because the girl that they were referencing, the girl who just decided to drop trowel and change in front of them, that's a model from a historic, a classic model from the supermodel days that would drop everything right in front of you and put on their next outfit so they could get back out on the runway. You know what I'm saying? Or the photo shoot, whatever they were doing. That's the job of modeling, being stoned, being strong, being somebody with thick skin. Because you do have to undress in front of sometimes dozens of people. You have 1,000 different people sometimes touching your body, touching up your face, pressing things against your chest and your buttocks and things of that nature. So saying you shouldn't touch a model is the new speak, and it's making the art of photography a more dangerous place for the photographer. I don't think that's a message that they should be pushing. Being perverted and being a professional person that knows what they want is totally different. So saying it's inappropriate to touch a model and asking them, is it okay if I throw your hair back, or is it okay if I, if you're not getting what I want you to do with your face or your leg or your hand, is it okay if I touch you? No. That's not what this job entails. You are a model. A model is a human mannequin. And if that makes you feel like you are being sexually assaulted, you should not be modeling. That is crazy. Again, let's separate the art of modeling and the photography from perverted behavior. Tony and Chelsea are fusing the two things. And like I said, the premise of this, they started this at painting the whole photography industry, saying it goes back to the beginning of photography even. They started it off by saying we were rapists, or we sexually assault women, try to make them have sex with us, and that we asked them to shoot nudes and we shocked them with the request of shooting nudes. So that was the base of this. So all of these things afterwards sound like rape and sexual assault by default. So no, it's not inappropriate to touch your models, and you shouldn't believe that. You shouldn't move forward thinking that. I think largely this video was, again, to destroy Jason Lanier and kick him when he's down. So I don't think they necessarily believe these things, or at least Tony probably doesn't. He's obviously being a beta male inside this video and pandering to his wife. I don't dislike either one of them. Love their videos, but this one in particular, I have some comments about. Next, approaching models. It gets crazy. The simple act of approaching a model and expressing interest in working with them is creepy. Like, you're a creep from the gate. Like, just if you see a beautiful girl and you want her to model for you, you're instantly a creep. I mean, even if they're a model too, I'm assuming if you walk up to a model and say, "Hey, I'm a photographer. I'd like to work with you," you're a creep, and you need to be careful. And Tony said he doesn't ask models to model for him. He sends his wife to get all of the models, and his wife Chelsea said she felt like a creep. I would suggest photographers do not take this information and make it a part of your normal business practice. I mean, in today's world, what Chelsea and Tony are talking about in this video is coming to fruition. So you do have to be a little bit careful with people that they're influencing, especially like them and the models that came out against Jason Lanier, who can't really express what Jason did wrong to them, but he was sexually appropriate. People like Tony and Chelsea making these type of videos legitimize things that would be innocent on any other account and make them criminal. So approaching models is not creepy. You just have to, be professional about it. Say, "Hey, I'm a photographer. I want you to shoot with me. This is what I pay." Or if you guys, work out some kind of free thing, who knows what the situation is. The point is, you shouldn't be afraid to go out there and hunt for models. I'm still shooting flowers and things of that nature because I haven't been bold enough to go out and look for real models. Simple. And if I listen to Tony and Chelsea, I'll never shoot a real person in my life. So, okay. They equate a man liking the way his model looks to sexual abuse. So if your model is beautiful and you say, "Damn, you look beautiful," or "You're hot," or "Your legs are beautiful," or "Your arms or your eyes," a sexual abuse to Tony and Chelsea. That is crazy. The art of photography is having the eye to be able to pinpoint what the best features you have are. So if your buttocks is the best feature, one of your best features, if your lips are one of your best features, or if your legs are one of your best features, you can't talk about that, according to Tony and Chelsea, or sexual abuse. That is insane. These people are snowflakes. They're victims of newspeak culture. They think if you tell a woman she's a model that she looks good, that's sexual abuse. That is crazy. I mean, they say don't focus on what the model looks like. Focus on the work. The work of a model is looking beautiful. What the heck? What the heck are you? Particularly fashion and nude things of that nature. If you're doing photography with beautiful women, that's the nature of their work, is to look beautiful, make their legs beautiful, make their lips and their eyes and everything about them beautiful. According to these two, you are sexually abusing these women if you acknowledge that, or if you try and focus on any of those areas as a photographer. This is crazy. You should bring a person with you. If you're a model or a photographer, I agree with that. We're not in disagreement there. I think especially inside this new brave world that we're living in, you should always have a witness with you in any situation, not just photography. I mean, you could be a man that works inside a law office. You should have somebody there to make sure that the secretary at the front desk doesn't say you tried to rape some cameras or something like that. And this is the nature of the world that we're living in today, where men in high positions won't even want to work with women because they'll be cautious about having to deal with sexual abuse allegations, and they would be right inside that. So, thanks for destroying culture as we know it, Chelsea and Tony. But yeah, we generally agree that you should have somebody with you to make the situation more comfortable for you. They said it does hurt to ask. Okay. I'm trying to formulate a sentence to speak about that. So basically, it does hurt to ask a question like, can you get nude? I guess. And again, folks, when I say can you get nude, I'm talking about a photographer that on a whim wants to take some nude photos of you. It says, can you get nude? They're saying it hurts to ask that. You shouldn't ask that because it hurts. Even if the model says no and you say, okay, let's continue on with this photo shoot. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know. To them, it hurts to ask that question. You shouldn't ask any questions because it could hurt. Don't stare at their bodies. Don't stare at a model's body. In a professional manner or in a perverted manner? I don't know. How do you not stare at your models? How do you take the photos? Like, if you're not looking and being very attentive to what your model looks like, that's such a crazy assessment. Like, and I'm doing it this way because the way that they presented it, they were presenting this whole conversation as if they were right in everything that they were saying, and they sounded absolutely crazy to me. So I'm making this rebuttal video. So you should definitely stare at your models. You should definitely know what you're dealing with. You should definitely be checking what the best parts of their bodies are, or their facial features, whatever you can bring out the best of. If that's their legs, you should be able to stare at them and figure that out. So if a model doesn't like to be stared at, she's not a model for one thing, and that girl needs to get out of the modeling business. She's going to ruin a lot of men because people like Tony and Chelsea are going to hear that the photographer was staring at me and think he's a rapist of some sort. Don't express that you like the shots, essentially. They're saying if you're taking pictures and you're like, yeah, that shot's great. Yeah, your legs look good in this one. Sexual assault. I hope that I'm not the only one that is just blown away by with the things that they're saying. I wrote this stuff down because I was just like, are these real photographers? Like, is Tony and Chelsea, do they do photography for real, or is this like, do they just shoot things in their backyard or something? Because this is crazy. Like, a supermodel is built for everything on this list that I'm talking about. A real model is built for all of this. A human mannequin is built for all this, and this is why they were shocked when they had a model that started stripping down right in front of them, because that was a human mannequin, a real model that is not fazed by this silly, stupid stuff right here. Most of it, at least. Some of it is, of course, merited. Don't compliment their features that stand out. We just went over that. That's ridiculous. Don't say honey or sweetie. Absolutely. I don't think I need to say anything about that. Jason Lanier his throat was cut with that segment right there. Chelsea was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that models had to deal with that." I was like, "What? What are you talking about, honey and sweetie? You know how many people, how many women call me honey and sweetie? The girls at the sub shop over the hill call me honey and sweetie every time I walk through the door." It's like, seriously, I've been dealing with being called honey and sweetie and dear all my life by strangers. And apparently, that's sexual assault. This was obviously a hit job on Jason Lanier on that part. Tony tried to, throw some lifeline out to Jason by saying, it's almost not, because in the South, he said this exact same thing that Jason said. He said, in the South, it's normal for people to call you honey and sweetie. But, he had to make sure his wife wasn't going to divorce him over this video, so he brought it back in. And his wife is just appalled by the notion that somebody might call you honey or sweetie. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to convict somebody or label them some kind of sexually inappropriate person because their nature is to call people honey or sweetie. I've said it before, I have a habit of calling my female friends dear, not necessarily having to be a friend at all, but I say dear a lot when I'm typing to females online or on my phone. I usually have dear inside my comments. So by Chelsea's policy or law, I would be sexually inappropriate. Moving on. They should let you know if they're comfortable or not. Now, this is another one that I took major issue with. A model is not there to be made comfortable. A model is there to take any position that a photographer tells her to take. The photographer is there to get the best photos that he can get. Now, if he tells you to curl up into a pretzel, if he tells you to, put one leg behind your shoulder but over your neck and on the ground again, it doesn't matter what the model, the photographer tells you to do. The model should be ready to do it. If a model's not comfortable doing that, they should not be a model. You don't come to the photo shoot and direct it. You come to the photo shoot to be a human mannequin. These two people have created a situation where a photographer is a rapist until he proves he's not. Crazy. This video was insane. Something that I would have never expected from Tony and Chelsea, and almost seems like they did it just so they can, get the praises of the angry mob that's hunting Jason Lanier right now, because there's no reason for them to have made this absolutely ridiculous video saying that the model you need to ask the model if they're comfortable posing in certain ways. You might as well give the model the camera at that point. The model should be taking pictures of you at that point. So basically, you pay the model to come there and tell you what the hell they're going to do and what they're not going to do as far as posing. Absolutely ridiculous. Don't flirt. We generally agree on that. You shouldn't be flirting with your models. I mean, if you're going to be professional about it, I don't think there's any argument there. I did want to put some of the things that I did agree with too, so it's not just me bashing Tony and Chelsea Northrup. So yeah, you shouldn't be flirting with your models. If you guys develop friendships and are comfortable with joking around with each other or even flirting, then that's different. But to the guys out there, you need to definitely be aware that there are women like Chelsea and the models that worked with Jason who are proven to have messed around and played sexually in conversations with him and things of that nature, and then turned around and said he was sexually abusive. So you should be aware of that and not develop any type of close relations with these girls Just use them as the human mannequins that they're supposed to be, and that's not an insult. That's actually something that they should be strong about. That's what their strength is, being human mannequins. That's their profession. That's what we respect them for. Having that thick skin and being able to do the things that a normal girl wouldn't be able to do. So, don't flirt with your models, is the general point. I already went over the model who stripped. She's a legend. Keep up the fight, lady. Don't let them change you into a feeble 16-year-old girl who shouldn't even be modeling on a level that, you know, a real model would be on. And to wrap it up, they want you to navigate the field of photography as if you're dealing with freshman high school girls, and that's not what you're dealing with inside the modeling industry. You know, as far as when you're dealing with adults, obviously. If you're dealing with children, then the conversation becomes a totally different one. But this video was a hit job on Jason Lanier. That's all it was. This video was filled with absolutely stupid advice. And I know I'm being tart. I don't mean to be insulting to these two people. I generally enjoy watching their videos, and you know, the back and forth between the two of them. I think Tony's cool. I think Chelsea's cool. But this video was not cool. This video was made specifically to kick a man when he's down, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys, and get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong for picking this video apart? Do you agree that they are creating a very dangerous atmosphere inside the photography space by trying to steer people in this direction? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. Get in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Black country, young rebels, revolutionaries fighting for what's right. Your thrones are too high, you need to come back down to earth. We're real people, you fall, we still see you. You're lost, we won't leave you, I promise that. What the hell does it mean to act your own age? I said forget what's sin, I make my own wave. Prodigy went to his grave, trying to save you niggas from yourself. Black contra men are brave.